Hello, everyone watching us today. Comfort Zone is hosting an interview with Mартином Грюбереном, managing partner at Bandex. Our topic is importance of using high-quality curtain tapes for premium tailoring. But before we begin, Martin, I want to thank you for taking part in today's interview. Comfort Zone works closely with your team, and we can confidently say that Bandex is a leader in producing premium quality curtain tapes. So, my first question is, what allows Bandex to remain a leader in the premium curtain tape segment?
Well, first of all, Nadia, thanks a lot having the chance to have the interview with you. We have a long-term relation with Comfort Zone. We did a lot of things together, just reminding all the curtains and the very lovely Roman blind you did for Bandex booth on the Heimtextile Fair in Frankfurt this year. So we have a good cooperation together and also developing new products together. But coming back to your question, well, of course, our long-term experience in producing curtain tapes helps us a lot, but also the contacts to our customers as well as to the suppliers helps us to stay on a quality level and also to improve it.
I see experience and connections really do create a solid foundation. Since we are talking about the company, the production and office are located in a very picturesque area on the border of Austria and Switzerland, in the town of Koblach. Why was this location chosen for the production site?
Well, initially Bandex was founded in the year 1955 by the family Oksakowski, and the first site was placed in the village of Altach, means in the federal state of Vorarlberg, directly at the Swiss border. This area of Vorarlberg was in the past very well known for its textile producing companies, but over the centuries, a couple of these companies went to administration, unfortunately. But Bandex is still developing. We have even just grown our site last year. And we are, since the year 2014, located in the village of Koblach. We are just 5,000 people living there. And yeah, as you said correctly, we are living in a place where other people come to spend their vacations with having a very beautiful nature.
Speaking of the time, how many years was Bandex been on the market?
Yeah, as mentioned earlier, we were founded in the year 1955. So this year we celebrate our 70th anniversary.
70 years, that's impressive. Wow. Over such long period, you must have developed a clear understanding of what quality means. What would you describe the key of difference in your products?
Well, that is a difficult question, and always the point, what do we understand with the quality? At the end of the day, quality means the product fulfills your customers' expectations and is doing the job what it is built for. There are a lot of points we have to take into consideration with the curtain tape. First of all, it is the quality of the raw materials, in our specific case, the yarn. The processing of the product through all the steps in the production, as well as the functionality like the pleating, the fullness ratio, and so on, but also that it's compatible to all the hanging systems on the market, as well as the optical and the design point of view, and also the accuracy that the width is like it should be and everything. So a lot of points we have to take into consideration, and beside we see a lot of changes on the markets. Mm-hmm. We serve more than 60 countries all over the world, and we see they are developing in different directions with the fabrics, with the designs, and that makes it for us quite difficult, because if a fabric, for example, is getting stiffer than the ones you've used before, very likely the curtain tape you used in the past couldn't do the job, as you need something really stiff, bringing the fabric into form. So a lot of things changed during the years with all the things around. Unfortunately, not everything to the positive thing.
Very detailed. It's clear you take a comprehensive approach. Let's go a bit deeper. What materials are mainly used to make your tapes?
Well, we have different styles of yarn. The majority is, of course, the polyester yarn, where you have the translucent monofilament fibers, but also the white fibers. In addition, for the curtain tapes, we also use polypropylene. Some tapes have cotton. There are different materials we are using there.
Well, and is there such a thing like fashion in curtain tapes?
Yeah, I was really smiling when I got that question. I can just share my point of view with you. Other people, of course, have the right to view it differently. In my point of view, in the curtain tape, not. We are in a conservative environment, and a lot of things are still done very traditionally. If we say there is something like a fashion, at least it's a million miles away from what we understand with fashion, for example, with clothing. But of course, you see trends, and one of the trends which is still on the market, and something I hear now since 17 years, since I am with Bandex, that everyone says wave blades is the most fashionable thing. And yeah, we see that in our numbers. So the meters we produce with all kinds of wave tapes are still growing.
And how do you think, who and what shapes the trends?
Well, as mentioned with the interior design, we are in a very conservative environment, and we have traditional ways in the countries how they make up the curtains. But if we ask who shapes the trends, then there are people like the leading designers are involved. Of course, all of the companies producing the curtains, selling the curtains, and those ones, they create then what are the trends. They show it also on the exhibitions, what should be the trend and how the curtain should be made up.
So it's more of a collective influence rather than anyone dictated. And how do you interact with all the players in the chain from designer to end customer?
Well, first of all, for Bandex, the chain is not as long as the question suggests. So with the end consumer, we very often have no contact or just a very small one. Mainly, we have the contacts with the designers, with the interior designers, with the wholesalers, with the contractors, if it comes to hotels and all that stuff. And in the contacts with these people, of course, new ideas for products, for also adapting existing products are rising. And these contacts are for us very, very important, because that is our motor, our engine, bringing new products to the market, as well as improving existing ones.
Makes sense focusing on the professional segment, but there is also a dark side of being a leader. Counterfeits. How do you deal with them?
Well, as a leading producer of curtain tapes, Bandex is used to get copied. And of course, you can try to protect yourself, but it is not so easy as it looks on the first view. It is a quite long mile from start the process getting a patent for your products until you have received it. And finally, if you have it, the long mile to with all the legal steps until you have a decision from the court is also very costly, and it takes a while. That is why we are not asking so much for patents. And yes, you're right, we get frequently copied. So on one side, it simply proves that we are a leading producer of curtain tapes, that our ideas are innovative. And yeah, from time to time, I have a big smile on my face when the competitor fails with their copies. That is even helping us in selling our products. So you can always view it from different sides.
Yes, even copies can be seen as a kind of compliment. Still, what's the main importance for high quality tape for the final result?
Well, if you see the function of the tape on the curtain, it is playing a big part because it's giving the shape and a lot of things on the design point of view. If we turn that around on the cost point, the curtain tape is more or less nothing on the value of the full curtain. So it would be, in my point of view at least, the total wrong decision to use a cheap tape for expensive curtain, and then you don't receive the result you're looking for. But vice versa, you can help the cheaper fabric with a high-end curtain tape to have a better view, to be a bit brighter, and very likely you're even able to get a bit more money from your customer because at the end, then it looks a bit more than it is.
Dear Martin, that was my final question. Thank you once again for your interview, and we look forward to our continued cooperation.